Hi, this is Dan Cardoza back with day number 7 of the Transform 21-day Rapid Fat Loss Toolkit. Now today marks the onset of module number 3, where we're going to delve into the top 12 habits that you can be performing on a daily basis that is going to help you create caloric balance, which we talked about a few days ago. It's going to help you create nutrient balance, which we've also recently talked about. And then that's also going to help you establish what we talked about yesterday in last day's lesson, which was hormonal balance. And those are the 3 goals of every fat loss program: caloric balance, nutrient balance, and hormonal balance. So many people put too much stock just in caloric balance, and they say eat less and exercise more, and that's part of it, but we need to have all 3 of those things down pat. And these next 12 habits that I'm going to talk to you about are going to be the most crucial, most critical things that you can be doing to help you establish all 3 of those goals in your eating plan. And that again is to establish caloric balance, nutrient balance, and hormonal balance. So in telegraphing today's take-home lesson, fat loss golden rule number 1 is simply to eat several small mini meals or snacks throughout the day, every 3 to 4 hours, always beginning with breakfast. So this is what is known as the grazing approach. Most people will either wake up, they skip breakfast and have a big lunch and a big dinner, or maybe they eat 3 square meals a day, or sometimes they'll eat 1 or 2 meals a day, and that is going to be disastrous for your fat loss results. So what you want to do instead is to have a grazing approach where you're eating several small mini meals or snacks every 3 to 4 hours. So you just have one every 3 to 4 hours, but you'll eat several of them throughout the day, and always beginning with breakfast. Never, ever, ever skipping breakfast. That's golden rule number 1. Now let me tell you why that's important. What you're looking at on the screen here is a chart that outlines your blood sugar and how it changes throughout the day from the time you wake up. Let's, in this case, pretend we're waking up at 6 a.m. and we're going to bed at 10 p.m. So how your blood sugar is affected throughout the day from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. Now, when it comes to blood sugar, why are we talking about blood sugar? Because blood sugar is one of the most prime indicators of whether your body is being nourished completely and in a timely fashion. Here's what I mean. Your body naturally wants to maintain a steady state of balance called homeostasis. And all that says is that it wants your blood sugar, in this case, there's other forms of homeostasis, temperature, your body wants to maintain a steady temperature, etc., etc. But for our purposes nutritionally, we're talking about blood sugar today, so it wants to maintain a steady state blood sugar. It doesn't want the blood sugar getting too high or too low. And this chart here outlines what happens when the blood sugar gets too high or too low. First of all, let's consider what happens when the blood sugar gets too low. Let's pretend you've been sleeping all night, you wake up, your blood sugar is naturally low because you probably haven't eaten since the night before. So you wake up, your blood sugar is low, and if you skip breakfast, have a light lunch, and then save yourself for a big dinner, guess what? Your blood sugar is going to stay low, and the outcome is going to be that you're communicating to your body that there's not enough nutrients in the body, you're not getting regular enough nutrition flowing into the body, and your body thinks it's starving. So your body, guess what it does? It hangs on desperately to the stored body fat that you have on your body. That's not a good thing if your goal is fat loss. So we don't want your blood sugar to drop too low at any point throughout the day. Let's consider the alternative when your blood sugar gets too high. When your blood sugar gets too high, there's a hormone called insulin that is released that takes that extra blood sugar and sends it away to the liver to be converted as fat. Guess where that fat ends up being deposited? On your abdomen and in all the wrong areas. So again, having a blood sugar level that gets too low or gets too high for any sustained period throughout the day will ultimately lead to fat loss, and that is going to be disastrous if your goal is to lose weight and to lose fat. Let's go on to the next video to continue.